The veteran keenly observed that something was not quite right with the man on the platform. After making a phone call, he pulled out his phone card and threw it in the trash. Then he looked around furtively before walking onto the train. At first, Bud didn't care, but not long after the train left, he noticed the attendant acting strange again. The woman knocked carefully on the restroom door. When there was no response, she walked nervously to the rear of the train. Years of combat experience told Bud that something big was going on here. He settled the kids down and approached the stewardess. After identifying himself as a police officer, he learned that there was probably a bomber in the restroom. The stewardess told him that the SWAT team was already at the next stop. But Bard, a veteran of many battles, knew that once the suspect sensed the train was stopping, he would immediately rush out and detonate the bomb. To prevent this from getting worse, Bud instructed the crew to unlock the door remotely. Then he was ready to rush in and overpower the suspect. But as soon as he lifted his leg, the man walked out of the restroom, and he didn't have a bomb on him. After informing the flight attendants that the threat had been neutralized, Bud returned to the restroom to check for signs of a bomb. But when he pushed open the door, there was a bomb. The woman had obviously been brainwashed by her husband. No matter how much Bud tried to calm her down, she wouldn't calm down. He said, "Don't press it. Please, don't move. Please, don't move." It seemed that the woman had been forced to do it, and she didn't want to set it off. So Bud tries to talk to her again, and shows her pictures of his children. As expected, the woman's face showed a hint of relief when she saw the pictures of her children. Then Bud told her that he'd been in Afghanistan and knew how innocent civilians were in politics. None of them should have to sacrifice their lives for those lying politicians. Finally, with Bud's efforts to calm her down, the woman gradually stabilized, and agreed that he should call the crew to urgently evacuate the passengers in the adjacent car, and relay to the SWAT team that the woman was willing to cooperate in the negotiations. However, as the train slowly pulled into the abandoned station, the SWAT team rushed onto the train, heavily armed, with snipers positioned on the neighboring platforms. It turns out they weren't going to negotiate with the woman. They were going to shoot her dead.